The Rental Cabin, a story of digital ghosts and mountain shadows. The last thing Marcus Chen uploaded before he disappeared was a 5-star review of a cabin that didn't exist. I know because I'm the journalist who found his phone in the ashes, the screen still warm, still glowing with that review, posted 30 seconds after the coroner declared him dead. My name is Rebecca Walsh, and this is the story of how I learned that some doors, once opened online, can never be closed. Chapter 1. The Perfect Rating. It started with a Reddit post that should have been nothing. Why does this cabin have 2,847 5-star reviews but doesn't show up on Google Maps? The user, Smokey MTN Skeptic, had included screenshots from Airbnb, VRBO, and Booking.com. All showed the same property, Harmony Ridge Cabin, a picturesque A-frame nestled in the Smoky Mountains outside Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Every review was immaculate. Every photo showed laughing families, crackling fireplaces, and stunning sunset views from the wraparound deck. But when Smokey MTN Skeptic dropped a pin on the GPS coordinates listed in the booking details, it landed on a burned-out lot marked "Condemned, Do Not Enter" on county records. I almost scrolled past. Almost. But I'd been covering true crime in East Tennessee for 6 years, and I'd developed an instinct for the strange. Plus, my editor at the Knoxville Tribune had been pressuring me for something fresh, something that would pop in the current media landscape. A haunted Airbnb? That would pop. I started digging. Chapter 2. The Burns Family. County records showed the property had belonged to the Burns family since 1978. Thomas and Patricia Burns, along with their 2 children, Emily, 14, and Jacob, 11, had operated it as a vacation rental since 2005. Then, on November 3, 2011, the cabin burned to the ground with all 4 family members inside. The fire inspector's report was public record. I read it in the county clerk's office. The pages yellowed, but the details sharp. Origin point, kitchen, faulty wiring and appliance, time of ignition, approximately 2:47 a.m. 4 fatalities, burned beyond visual identification, confirmed via dental records. There was a note at the bottom, handwritten. Victims likely unconscious from smoke inhalation before flames reach them. Small mercy. I photographed every page. The cabin had been listed as condemned in 2012. The lot had been seized for unpaid taxes in 2015. It should have been auctioned off, demolished, forgotten. Instead, it had 2,847 perfect reviews. I clicked on the oldest review still visible on the Airbnb listing. It was dated March 15th, 2012, 4 months after the Burns family died. Tom and Patricia were the most wonderful hosts. The kids loved playing with Emily and Jacob. We felt like part of the family. We'll definitely return next year. Jennifer M., Chicago, Illinois. The hairs on my neck stood up. Chapter 3. Guest Logs. I created a fake account and tried to book Harmony Ridge Cabin for the following weekend. The system accepted my reservation immediately. The price was remarkably affordable, $127 per night. A confirmation email arrived within seconds. Dear Rebecca, we're thrilled to welcome you to Harmony Ridge. Our family has been sharing this special place with guests for generations. Please arrive after 3 p.m. for check-in. The door code is 1103. See you soon. Tom, Patricia, Emily, and Jacob. The door code was 1103. November 3rd, the date they died. I felt cold despite the warmth of my apartment. I spent the next 3 days tracking down previous reviewers. I called 27 phone numbers listed in public records tied to names in the reviews. 11 were disconnected. 8 went to voicemail that was never returned. 3 people answered. The conversations were identical. "I've never been to Tennessee," they'd say, confused. "I've never used Airbnb. Why would my name be on a review?" One woman, Patricia Eisenberg from Oregon, got angry. "This is identity theft. Take my name down right now." But when I asked her to log into her Airbnb account and check, she went silent. Then, quietly, "I don't have an Airbnb account. I've never created one." Yet there was her profile picture, a photo from her Facebook page, attached to a glowing review posted 6 months ago. I began compiling a spreadsheet. Names, dates, phone numbers, email addresses. Patterns emerged. 43 reviewers shared the same email domain at seviercounty.morgue.tn.gov, the Sevier County Morgue. Chapter 4, The Morgue Connection. Dr. Raymond Pike had been the Sevier County medical examiner for 19 years. His office was in a squat brick building behind the county hospital, the kind of place designed to be forgotten. He agreed to meet me on a Thursday afternoon, his white coat stained with something I chose not to identify. "Morgue email addresses and online reviews?" He laughed, but it was nervous. That's not possible. Our system is closed network. No internet access for security reasons." I showed him the screenshots on my laptop. His laughter died. "These are real employee addresses. How did you—" He scrolled through the list, his face growing pale. "Jesus, these are all my staff, current and former." "Former?" "Deceased," he said quietly. "Sarah Mitchum died in a car accident in 2018. Gregory Haynes, heart attack, 2020. This one, Rebecca Choi, she was murdered by her boyfriend last year." There were 43 names. I waited. "They're all dead," Dr. Pike whispered. "Every single person on this list worked for this morgue, and every single one of them is dead." The room felt smaller suddenly, the fluorescent lights too bright. "There's something else," Pike said. He pulled up his computer system, fingers trembling on the keyboard. "We had a network intrusion 6 months ago. IT said it was sophisticated, targeted. They tried to access our deceased persons database, specifically the intake records." "What would someone want with those?" "Names, dates of death, physical descriptions, next of kin." He met my eyes. "Everything you'd need to create a convincing identity." I felt pieces sliding together in my mind, forming a picture I didn't want to see. Chapter 5, The Detective. Detective Sarah Moreno had been with Gatlinburg PD for 12 years. When I called about the Burns family fire, she agreed to meet at a diner off the main strip, away from tourist crowds. "The Burns case," she said, stirring her coffee slowly. "You're the third person to ask me about it this year." My pulse quickened. "Who were the others?" "First was a guy from Nashville, Marcus Chen, freelance tech journalist. Came in February, said he was investigating a digital haunting for a podcast." She paused. "He checked into a cabin outside town. Never checked out. We found his car at a trailhead 3 weeks later. No body, no evidence, just his phone." "And the second person?" "Couple from Ohio, the Kramers, anniversary trip. They'd booked some cabin they found online. When they didn't return their rental car, the company reported it. We found the car on an old logging road off Highway 321, right near where the Burns property used to be. Her jaw tightened. Both of them were inside, dead. Carbon monoxide poisoning, M.E. said. But here's the weird part. The car was off, engine cold, had been for days, according to the forensics. How do you get carbon monoxide poisoning in a car that's not running? You don't, she leaned forward. And you know what else? They both had their phones out. Both had 5-star reviews typed out in their notes apps, ready to post. Reviews for Harmony Ridge Cabin. My hands went cold around my coffee cup. Detective, I have a reservation there this weekend. Sarah Moreno's face went rigid. Cancel it. Now. I need to see. You need to live, she interrupted. Whatever's happening at that location, it's not a story. It's a death trap. She pulled out her phone, scrolled through photos, then slid it across the table to me. The image showed a clearing in the woods. Blackened foundation stones formed a rectangular outline. Charred timber beams lay collapsed inward. Yellow police tape fluttered from trees marking the perimeter. This is what's really there, she said. This is what every GPS coordinate in those listings points to. Burned wreckage and bones. The forensics team did a full survey after we found the Kramers. You know what we discovered in that rubble? 47 sets of remains. Not 4. 47. Carbon dated across the last 12 years, 2011 to 2023. The diner suddenly felt too warm, the smell of frying bacon nauseating. The Burns family makes 4, Moreno continued. Marcus Chen makes 5. The Kramers make 7. That leaves 40 more bodies we can't identify. 40 people who came to these mountains and never left. I forced myself to think like a journalist, not a victim. Have you traced the booking platform? Shut down the listings? We've tried. Watch this. She took her phone back, opened a browser, and typed in Harmony Ridge Cabin Gatlinburg. 3 listings appeared immediately. Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, all active, all with available dates. Now watch, she called the number for Airbnb's Trust and Safety Department. Put it on speaker. After navigating the automated system, a representative answered. How can I help you today? I'm Detective Sarah Moreno with Gatlinburg PD. I need to report a fraudulent listing that's connected to multiple deaths. I'm so sorry to hear that. Can you provide the listing number? Moreno read it off. There was typing, then silence, then more typing. Ma'am, I'm not showing any listing with that number in our system. I'm looking at it right now on your website. Can you send me a screenshot? Moreno took a screenshot, sent it. More silence. Ma'am, this is very strange. That listing doesn't exist in our database. The property ID isn't in our format, but I can see it too now that I'm on the public site. It's like something's overlaying our actual listings. The representative's voice had changed, losing its corporate cheerfulness. Now she just sounded scared. How is that possible? Moreno demanded. It's not, the woman whispered. Our servers are Fort Knox. Nothing gets added without going through 6 levels of verification. This listing shouldn't exist, but thousands of people have booked it. I can see the transaction records now. They're in the system, but they're not in the system. She trailed off. They're what? They're coming from inside the Morgue network. All of them. According to our logs, every booking for Harmony Ridge Cabin in the last 12 years was made from IP addresses registered to the Sevier County Medical Examiner's office. The call ended abruptly. Moreno and I stared at each other across the table. Chapter 6. The Decision. I should have canceled my reservation. I should have written the story from a safe distance, included a warning, moved on to my next assignment. But Marcus Chen's phone had been found with that review still glowing on the screen. The Kramers died with their praise typed, but not posted. 40 people had vanished into those mountains, leaving nothing but bones and 5-star ratings. Someone had to see what they saw. Someone had to understand. I told myself it was journalism. I told myself I'd be careful. I was lying. The truth was simpler and more shameful. I needed this story. My career had stalled. My last 3 pitches had been rejected. I was 34 years old, still freelancing, still living paycheck to paycheck. A story like this, documented, investigated, survived, could change everything. So Friday afternoon, I loaded my car with equipment: 2 phones, 3 cameras, a portable battery pack, pepper spray, a hunting knife I'd never used, and a GPS tracker that would ping my location to my editor every 30 minutes. Detective Moreno's final words echoed as I drove east toward the mountains. If you're going to be stupid, at least be prepared. And Rebecca, don't go inside. Whatever you think you'll find, it's not worth it. The drive to Gatlinburg took 2 hours. The GPS coordinates from the listing led me off Highway 321 onto progressively smaller roads, paved to gravel to dirt, until I was deep in old-growth forest where the autumn sun barely penetrated the canopy. My phone signal died a mile before the final turn. The GPS tracker on my dash still showed green, still transmitting. That would have to be enough. The road ended in a small clearing. I parked and stepped out into silence, so complete it felt aggressive. No birds, no insects, no wind, just absolute stillness. And there, through the trees, I saw it. Harmony Ridge Cabin stood exactly as it appeared in the photos. A beautiful A-frame with a wraparound deck, warm light glowing from the windows, smoke curling from the stone chimney. A wooden sign hung beside the door. "Welcome, friends." I checked my second phone, the one with the photos Detective Moreno had shown me. Same GPS coordinates, but that phone's photo showed only ruins. I looked up. The cabin was still there, solid and real. I raised my camera and took a photograph. Through the viewfinder, I saw the truth: blackened foundation stones, collapsed beams, empty forest. I lowered the camera. The cabin returned, perfect and inviting. My hands shook as I raised the camera again. Ruins. Lowered it. Cabin. "It's not real," I whispered to myself. "It's not real." But the porch steps creaked under my weight as I climbed them. The wood felt solid. Real. The door was unlocked. The handle was warm, as if someone had just touched it. I pushed it open. The interior was exactly as the reviews described. Vaulted ceiling with exposed beams, stone fireplace crackling with a fresh fire, comfortable furniture arranged around a thick rug. The air smelled of pine and cinnamon. A handwritten note lay on the coffee table. "Dear Rebecca, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Please make yourself at home. We've left fresh cookies in the kitchen and firewood on the deck. If you need anything, just call out. We're always nearby. Enjoy your stay. The Burns family." The handwriting was shaky, as if written by someone very old or very frightened. I pulled out my camera and photographed everything. Through the lens, empty space, charred wood, the note burning to ash in my hand, even as I held it intact. A sound from upstairs. Footsteps. Light. Quick. A child's footsteps. "Hello?" I called out. The footsteps stopped. Then quietly, a girl's voice. "Are you here for the weekend?" Every instinct screamed at me to run, but I'd come this far. "Yes," I said. "I'm Rebecca." "I'm Emily." The voice was sweet, innocent. Jacob and I were hoping someone would come. It gets lonely. I moved toward the stairs. Each step felt like wading through water, reality thick and resistant around me. At the top of the stairs, a hallway stretched to 3 doors. The middle door was ajar, soft light spilling out. "Emily," I called softly. "In here." I pushed the door open. A girl sat on a bed, maybe 14 years old, blonde hair in a ponytail, wearing pajamas decorated with cartoon bears. She smiled at me, and her smile was warm and genuine, and completely wrong because her eyes were hollow. Not empty, but hollow, like looking into deep wells that had no bottom. "You came," she said. "Most people cancel at the last minute. They get scared." "Emily Burns?" "That's me." She patted the bed beside her. "Sit down. You must be tired from the drive." I stayed in the doorway, one hand gripping my camera. "You died in 2011. Her smile never wavered. "Yes, November 3rd. It was a Thursday. We were all asleep when the fire started. I didn't feel anything. Mom says that's a blessing." "Then how are you here?" "We never left," she said simply. "This is our home. We share it with guests. That's what we've always done." A younger boy appeared in the doorway behind me. I hadn't heard him approach. Maybe 11, dark hair, same hollow eyes. "You brought a camera," Jacob said. "Most guests don't. They just bring their phones." "What happens to the guests, Jacob?" The 2 children looked at each other, some silent communication passing between them. "They check out," Emily finally said. "Everyone checks out eventually. Marcus Chen, the Kramers, 47 people. They didn't check out. They died here." "They're still here," Jacob corrected. "Just like us, just like you will be." The temperature dropped suddenly. My breath misted in the air. The walls began to change. The cheerful wallpaper peeled back, revealing charred wood beneath. The floor creaked and split, orange embers glowing through the cracks. The smell of smoke overwhelmed the cinnamon. "Don't be scared," Emily said, and now her voice had an echo, like multiple voices speaking in unison. "It doesn't hurt, we promise, and you'll never be lonely again. We're all together here, one big family." Through the window behind her, I saw them. Dozens of figures standing in the trees. Men, women, children, all watching the cabin, all with those same hollow eyes, the guests who never left. I raised my camera and took a photograph of Emily. Through the viewfinder, I saw her as she really was, a charred skeleton, small and fragile, still sitting on a bed that was nothing but ash. The flash went off. Emily shrieked, a sound like twisting metal and breaking glass. Jacob lunged at me, his fingers stretched into something too long, too sharp. I ran. Down the stairs, the walls burning around me but not consuming me, flames that gave no heat. The front door was gone, replaced by solid wood. I grabbed the hunting knife from my belt and slammed it into the wood, prying, tearing. Behind me, footsteps on the stairs. Not just Emily and Jacob now, many footsteps, the guests, coming to welcome me, coming to make me stay. The wood splintered. I squeezed through the gap, felt splinters tear my jacket, my skin. Then I was on the porch, then the steps, then running through the forest as behind me the cabin screamed, a sound like 1,000 voices all crying out in unison. I didn't stop running until I reached my car. I threw myself inside, started the engine, and drove. In my rear-view mirror, I saw them all standing at the forest's edge, watching, waiting. Emily raised one hand and waved goodbye. Chapter 7. Aftermath. I drove straight to the Gatlinburg Police Department and told Detective Moreno everything. She listened without interrupting, her face growing more grim with each detail. "We're bulldozing the site tomorrow," she said when I finished. "I've got approval from the county. We're burying everything under 6 feet of concrete." "Will that stop it?" She didn't answer for a long moment. Then, "I don't know, but we have to try." I published my story 3 days later. The Tribune ran it as their cover feature. The Cabin That Won't Die, a digital ghost story in the Smokies. It went viral, 20 million views in the first week. Netflix called about adaptation rights. My agent fielded interview requests from 60 Minutes, NPR, the New York Times. But here's what I didn't publish. The day after I escaped, I checked my email. There was a confirmation from Airbnb thanking me for my stay at Harmony Ridge Cabin, asking me to leave a review. I never did, but someone did. A 5-star review appeared under my name 3 days later, posted from my account. An account I immediately deleted, then discovered I'd never actually created in the first place. The review read, "Amazing experience. The Burns family made me feel right at home. The warmth, the hospitality, the sense of belonging. It's unlike anywhere else. I'll definitely be back. In fact, I don't think I ever really left. 5 stars. Detective Moreno called me the morning they bulldozed the site. "It's done," she said. 6 feet of reinforced concrete. We've posted no trespassing signs, installed cameras. That cabin won't hurt anyone else." She was wrong. The listings are still active. I check every day, obsessively, watching the review count climb. 2,847 reviews became 2,993, then 3,104, then 3,267. Each new review is from someone real, someone whose phone number I can trace, whose social media I can find. But when I call them, they don't remember writing the review. They don't remember being in Tennessee at all. And sometimes, late at night, when I can't sleep, I open my laptop and look at the photos I took inside that cabin. The ones that show the truth, the ruins, the bones, the char. But there's one photo that's different. The last one I took before I ran, the flash photograph of Emily. In that image, she's not alone on the bed anymore. There's someone sitting beside her now, someone who wasn't there when I took the picture. It's me, and every day, that version of me looks a little more solid, a little more real. While the me sitting here, typing this, feels a little more hollow. I haven't told anyone about this. Not Moreno, not my editor, not the therapist I started seeing. Because I'm afraid if I speak it out loud, I'll have to acknowledge what I already know. I did leave a review of Harmony Ridge Cabin. I just haven't posted it yet. It's saved in my drafts, ready to publish. 5 stars. I open the app sometimes and read what I wrote, what some part of me wrote. The Burns family welcomed me with open arms. Their home is beautiful, warm, and full of love. I felt like I belonged there, like I'd finally found my place. Check-in was easy. The door code is 1103, the same as the date they died, or the date they were reborn. I'm not sure there's a difference anymore. I'm writing this from my apartment, but part of me never left that cabin. Part of me is still there, sitting on Emily's bed, smiling with hollow eyes, waiting for the next guest. And the strangest thing, I can't wait to go back. My next reservation is in 3 days. I've already packed my bags. This time, I don't think I'll leave. The concrete didn't stop anything. The cabin is still there, not in the physical world, but somewhere else, somewhere that exists in the space between what we see and what we believe, between the digital and the real. It's been 3 months since my visit. My calendar notification just went off. Check in, Harmony Ridge Cabin, today, 3 p.m. I didn't set that reminder, but I'm packing anyway. Emily and Jacob are waiting. The whole family is waiting. And I realize now, as I fold clothes I won't need and pack equipment I won't use, that some part of me has been waiting too. Detective Moreno called one last time, 2 hours ago. Rebecca, we found something when we poured the concrete. Before it set, our cameras caught movement. Underneath, shapes pressing up against the wet concrete from below, like hands reaching. We have it on video. 47 distinct handprints, Rebecca. 47. She paused, and I could hear her breathing, ragged and afraid. But there were 48 prints, one more than the bodies we found. And Rebecca, we ran the size analysis on that last handprint. It matched yours, from your apartment security footage, your exact hand dimensions. I looked down at my palm. There was concrete dust under my fingernails. Gray powder I didn't remember touching. "Don't go back there," Moreno whispered. "Whatever's calling you, fight it. You got out once. You won't get out again." But she's wrong about one thing. I didn't get out. Part of me, maybe the most important part, stayed behind in that cabin. And the thing wearing my skin, sitting in my apartment, living my life, it's just an echo, a review waiting to be posted, a reservation waiting to be fulfilled. I'm looking at my laptop now. The review is still in my drafts. My finger hovers over the post button. If I post it, maybe the echo becomes real. Maybe I get to stay here, in this world, in this life. Or maybe posting it is how I finally admit the truth. I'm already gone. My phone buzzes. A text from a number I don't recognize. "We're waiting for you, Rebecca. The door code hasn't changed. It'll always be 1103. Come home." I should delete it, block the number, call Moreno, call my editor, call anyone. Instead, I text back. I'm on my way. Because here's what I've learned about Harmony Ridge Cabin, about the Burns family, about all those guests who checked in and never left. We weren't trapped. We were welcomed. And sometimes, being welcomed, being wanted, being part of something eternal, is worth more than being alive. I close my laptop without posting the review. I don't need to anymore. The review will post itself when I arrive. They all do. As I walk to my car, I glance back at my apartment building one last time. In the window of my unit, I see a figure watching me leave. It looks exactly like me. It waves. I wave back. Then I drive east, toward the mountains, toward the smoke, toward the warmth of a fire that never stops burning. The GPS on my phone has already updated my destination. Harmony Ridge Cabin, arriving in 1 hour, 47 minutes. Detective Moreno will find my car in 3 weeks, parked in that same clearing. My phones will be on the dashboard, both showing the same thing. A 5-star review, posted from beyond the veil between worlds. The review count for Harmony Ridge Cabin will tick up by 1. And somewhere in the mountains, in a cabin that burns forever but never burns down, Emily and Jacob Burns will smile their hollow smiles and welcome their newest guest. Their newest family member, their newest forever. Because that's what Harmony Ridge Cabin offers, really. Not a vacation, not an escape, but a promise. You'll never be alone again. You'll never leave. You'll always belong. And in the end, isn't that what we're all searching for? A place where we fit. A place where we're wanted. A place that will never, ever let us go. If you're reading this, please don't look for Harmony Ridge Cabin. Don't check the listings. Don't read the reviews. But if you do, if something calls to you in those perfect 5-star ratings, in those smiling family photos, in the promise of mountain air and crackling fires, just remember, the door code is 1103, and check-in is at 3 p.m. We'll be waiting. Epilogue. This story was found on journalist Rebecca Walsh's laptop by her editor, David Chen, after she was reported missing on October 12, 2025. Her car was discovered on October 31st at the location described in this narrative. Both her phones were present, fully charged, with identical 5-star reviews posted to multiple booking platforms at 2:47 a.m. on November 3rd, 2025, exactly 14 years after the Burns family fire. Rebecca Walsh's body has never been recovered. Harmony Ridge Cabin currently has 4,392 5-star reviews. The listing remains active. All dates are available. The end, or perhaps the beginning. Thanks for watching. I hope you consider subscribing for weekly videos.